But
Yeah.
the thing inside, that's what we're trying to get at when we're talking about if you were a worm, what part of the worm is you? It's that stuff. It's that mental interiority.
Welcome back to Lucid Logos, and you don't have consciousness, you are consciousness. In this video, Alex O'Connor and Michael Stevens from Vsauce have a conversation about what is consciousness and who am I. And you can very much see that they're still within the materialist framework, assuming that consciousness is something that occurs within the body. But if you really refer to your subjective experience, you will recognize that reality and this body occur within consciousness. And that's who you are fundamentally, and that's what God is fundamentally. God is consciousness and then divides himself materiologically, the one, dividing himself into many, as our individual mind. So it is very much mind before matter.
A really interesting question to me, which I think I have not thoroughly explored enough, is the link between these two things. Mereology, we were talking about before, and then this question of personhood, and whether you can have a sort of similar philosophy of both. I mean, we said, like, there isn't really this thing called a table, we just sort of decide when to call it a table, and how much of it we'd have to take away until it's no longer a table. We're doing the same kind of thing with people? Like, you've kind of just got, you can take away this and you can take away that, and whether they're alive or dead or still the same person kind of just depends on your context and function.
Yeah, right. Like there's the whole, like, would you love me if I was a worm?
Yeah, right.
That question is actually pretty deep because,
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
What does that even mean?
If you were a worm?
Yeah.
And I think that the average person means if my conscious experience was inside the body of a worm. They just mean my body changed because they don't think of the body as being them. They can lose an arm, they can gain weight or lose weight, and they're still them.
Mm-hmm.
They can be a worm and it's still them. The thing that isn't changing is the internal world.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I think that's like one of the best ways to define what consciousness is when you get into a discussion. And a lot of times people are talking past each other. Some are talking about awareness, some are talking about interiority. I just say, look, consciousness is the thing that doesn't change for Phil in Groundhog's Day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Every morning he wakes up and everything's changed back to the way it was on 6 a.m. Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
But he remembers that thing that's not changing. His wounds go away. But the thing inside, that's what we're trying to get at when we're talking about if you were a worm, what part of the worm is you? It's that stuff. It's that mental interiority.
Notice how he's saying this interiority, this internal experience. And again, consciousness is the capacity to know subjective experience. And so for Phil in Groundhog's Day, it wasn't even the fact that he remembers. Remembering allows you to recognize that there's a continuity in your experience or reflect upon the continuity in your experience. But even if there were no memory, there is something, right? And that something is the experience you're having, regardless of whether or not you remember it. And so he's intuiting here that the part that you are fundamentally is the part of you that knows your experience. Is that part of you, I ask you directly, where is it? Is it inside your brain? Nobody's ever found that. And why is it that this non-physical thing doesn't show up in the world, yet knows the full world? And my claim is that this non-physical thing that we call consciousness, that knows the physical world and its meaning, is what generates reality. Consciousness is the screen, reality is the movie. And so we're all watching the movie from various angles, but that's why everything is happening all at once, right here, right now. There's never, ever any other place where you will find reality, except for within a subjective experience. And the reason why it's only one reality, it's because It's only one consciousness with many minds looking at it from various angles, who then form an ego and say, no, I actually exist separate from this one unity. Consciousness is not physical. It's not in space and time. It's that which knows morals and ethics and values, so on and so forth.
I have a question then, right? Like, if we can conceive of my consciousness inside of a worm, a lot of people who are like materialists about the world think that consciousness is just this thing that the brain does, that conscious experiences are just the same thing as brain activity. If that were the case, then surely in order to put your consciousness into a worm, you'd need to literally take your sort of big human brain and put it inside of a worm. If we can imagine taking your consciousness and fitting it inside of a worm, like taking it out of your brain and putting it into the worm brain, does that tell us that, at least the way we're thinking about it conceptually, that consciousness is not tied to the brain in that materialistic way? Or would it be that in order to have a worm with your consciousness, you'd need a worm with Michael Stevens' brain literally inside of it?
I don't know. I mean, I believe but cannot prove that it could be, my consciousness could be replicated in a computer,
Right.
or with some much more space-efficient system that could fit inside of a worm.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say my consciousness, I kind of just mean a thing that believes it is alive, believes it has conscious will, and also thinks that it is the continuation of my experiences.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could like build a machine that would just suddenly copy my brain and put it into this little special worm brain so that I like basically died.
Mm-hmm.
And this worm went, oh my gosh, I don't have any arms. I'm Michael though.
Yeah.
I don't know what... Is there like a soul of mine that continues on and is like, I'm dead. The thing in the worm is an imposter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to just do that experiment.
It's not that you have your own consciousness. You just have your own mind within one consciousness. And that one consciousness is the continuity across your entire personal experience, but across all of our individual experiences as well. And that's why there's one reality. And once this body dies, the memories die with it. There is no continuity in Michael Stevens or me or Alex O'Connor. What there is continuity is as consciousness. So there isn't a soul. There's just the one consciousness, which is the one soul, which is the one knowing presence, which is God. And so with that, I thank you guys. I appreciate any likes, subs, comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.